Hello folks, and welcome back to Motorcycle Masterclass. Now it doesn't matter if you're out riding by yourself like this, or if you're out with friends. Observation is one of the key weapons in your armoury of the things that keep you safe. If you read people's remarks on these videos, you'll see comments like, you can see round corners, you got eyes like a hawk, you got x-ray vision. Now, I've got to put my hands up to the fact, okay, I'm truly magnificent, but I can't see through hedges. All of the things that I mention in these videos are there for you to see. It's purely down to you as to whether you're actually looking for it or not. If you're looking and your observation is good, there's a ton of information out there that you can use to help you plan and help you position. In turn, it's going to make your riding a lot more enjoyable and an awful lot safer. Let's have a look at observation then. And I know I've mentioned it before, but I'll show you a very simple way of how to hone your skills and how to teach yourself to observe. Here's your starter for 10 then, and something which you've heard me say on countless occasions and are probably going to join in with. Every time you get a new view, look as far into the distance as you can and then work back towards yourself. That distant view might just give you a glimpse of something that then disappears from your view, but you've seen it and you know it's there. Once you've clocked the distant stuff, start working back down the hedgelines towards yourself. And don't worry, if anything happens immediately in front of you, your peripheral vision will pick it up, you'll see it and you'll react to it. Start looking for it all the time though, and as soon as you get that new view, take in as much information as you can, think what's likely to happen because of it and how we can use it to our advantage. I'm about to lose this view, but from here I can see the limit point, I can see the road bearing round left, so I can already start planning my position, my approach, what speed I'm likely to be able to take the bend at, and then I can start working back towards myself. What else might affect us then? Let's have a look at the road surface. It's clean, dry, looks in a good state of repair, doesn't it? But it's under trees, and although it's good at the moment, there could be a possibility of branches or debris off the trees on the road. What you can't see is as important as what you can see. There's no oncoming traffic, there's no pedestrians, there's no cyclists, there's no animals in the road. And all these things will help me decide how I set up to enter that left-hand bend. As I turn in, my view changes again. Look at that big patch of sunlight that goes right the way across both lanes, and there's a car parked just off the road up there on the offside. And finally from here, the road's got a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit and a weight restriction on it. I straighten the bike up and adopt a mid-lane position to keep that near side view. You can see though that it's extended my view down the offside hedge line, and I've got a better view now of the lay-by where that car's parked. As I get closer, I can see that there's more than one vehicle parked up in the lay-by. I'm looking for any signs of movement, exhaust, and in particular, children or animals that might be between the vehicles and could run out into the road. If you look down the near side verge line, that line of sunshine shows me that there's an entrance of some sort coming up as well. Potentially a whole different ballgame from when we left the junction mouth, isn't it? You can see how observation and positioning go hand in hand. Good observation will help you plan for your positioning, and good positioning will help you keep the best view to create those observation opportunities. It's a good idea to read road signs to yourself, but also to think about what goes with them. Take this crossing patrol for example. Is it likely to be in use, so what day and time is it? If it is, how's it going to affect your riding? We might have to slow down or stop. And of course, there's a good possibility of having young children in the road. Straight back up to 30. If I told you there was a good possibility of a wide load or large vehicle being stopped in the road ahead of us, you'd probably think I'm having a senior moment. Keep your eye along the near side verge line. Have a look at all that fresh vegetation which has been knocked down. What does it tell you? Then as soon as the oncoming traffic's cleared, we can move out towards the crown, just knock a couple of miles an hour off here, and then straighten away from the oncoming traffic. Got this protected area in the middle of the road. Watching the junction then, that's the source of potential danger. We'll have a good look into it as we go by, which is all clear. No following traffic at the moment, so back out to the crown and then just gradually away, centre of our lane with the oncoming vehicles. Now something large has been done through here. Do you see all the stuff at the side of the road here? The lights have just changed on the pedestrian crossing, so we just roll off. And I'm anticipating these changing fairly quickly. The red lights just come on the control box. There we go, so we can just pick up the drive, no need to actually stop. It's a nice steady approach, gives us plenty of time for the lights to change. Between the two, I'm watching the pheasant here crossing the road. This is one of the things that really annoys me about wildlife in rural areas. It's just pure showing off. The only reason the pheasant's crossing the road is to prove to the hedgehog that it can actually be done. Here's a slightly more worrying observation. Have a look at the hard deck. Diesel or water? Whatever it is, there's a lot of it. Now this is Lymington, so it's possible it could be water out of a boat on a trailer. Equally, it could be diesel. And if you've ever followed a fire engine, you'll get a very similar trail of water out of them. Whatever it is though, early observation is vital to make sure that you take the right course of action as soon as you see it. I'm going to turn left here, and you can see that there's a nice low, fairly open verge line just before the junction, which gives me a view across, and I can see there's also the signs here, but the cattle grid, the road narrows, and I've got oncoming traffic. Do you see anything else? What about now? There's a pedestrian on my side of the road, so immediately let's get speed off and we can create space and time. Safety first, and I can control down any following traffic. But it also gives me the opportunity to have a good look at the situation, and I'm happy that once the oncoming vehicle's passed, I can move out to the offside lane and extend my view past the pedestrian and round the left-hander. If there is anything coming the other way, I'm still going to have enough time to reduce my speed, bring the bike back into the near side lane, and keep myself and the pedestrian safe. Out we go then, and you can see that I only literally have to cross the centre line to get this view. I can see a long way down the road, and I can see between the pedestrian and the hedge to extend it even further. I've got my timing spot on here, and I'm only committed for a couple of seconds before I've got that view, and I can complete the manoeuvre in perfect safety. I can put all my observational skills to good use on the way down to this roundabout. Time my approach so I don't have to stop, and I can see that after the blue car, I can get straight into the roundabout and away. No matter how good my observational skills are, I can't see through that lorry, and it's pointless me getting too close to it. If I sit back like this, I've got good view down either side, I can still stay at the speed limit and I'm not going to annoy anybody on behind me, and I give myself the biggest safety margin possible. If I get too close, I won't be able to see, the driver of the lorry won't be able to see me either. I won't get that early heads up if he has to stop, and if I end up right behind him and then he suddenly has to reverse, I'm going to be in a world of trouble, and probably flatter than a bag of flat things. By holding view like this, I give myself every advantage to stay safe. I can see the traffic lights, so it gives me time to control traffic down behind me, and I can choose where and when I stop. I might be out of the driver's view, but at least I've got time to react if anything happens. If there's a place where he's likely to get tagged up and may need to stop and reverse, this is it. So I'm going to hang well back, and you can see that I've got good view, either one side or the other, sometimes both. The other thing here, I can use the windows of the shops as mirrors and actually see past him to see when traffic ahead of him is moving or if there's any problem up there. I have control over this situation here, and I hope you can see that there's no point in me being any closer to him, and certainly no driving advantage. Somebody asked the question recently in the comments, in lower limits and in town, should I be positioning or should I just sit mid-lane? Now, I hope I've demonstrated this right for you, but literally yard by yard down the road, I'm moving this bike all the time. Firstly for safety, but I want to be in a position where I've got view and control. In all aspects of my riding, I like to keep things simple. Don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. I just want to be in the safest place on the road all the time. As far into the distance as you can and work back. Listen to the engine. I'm not not happy. Remember to keep things simple. To be involved in a collision with another vehicle, you've got to be fairly close to it, haven't you? And by just showing a little bit of restraint, I give this wagon a chance to move out around the parked car. I've got a good view down between them, and I can see the oncoming vehicle, and it shows me that I've got enough time and room to overtake the parked car myself, come back to the near side. I've only dropped a couple of miles an hour off the speed limit, all done in complete safety. Hey, here we are then. It's those tricky conditions again. Look, dead straight road in broad daylight. What could possibly go wrong? Because I'm looking, I can factor all this stuff into my ride and position the bike to keep myself and them safe. Keep watching along the near side and you'll see this white car come up to the junction. The only thing that obstructs the driver's view of me are the lampposts, and you'll see that I recourse the bike a couple of times to eliminate those blind spots so that we can see each other. Observation works both ways, so make sure they can see you too.
Now, if the Arctic stops, we want to be very careful where we go in relation to him. So we'll just go in nice and steady a minute. Let's just have a look and see how much room he's going to take up. Okay, so after this little white lorry, we're going to keep moving and we're going to be out and gone before he does. So signal to leave. Good look back before we change lanes. Cancel the signal. I can just straighten this bend out. We've got oncoming traffic, and the bridge up ahead, it's got this little tunnel through which gives you a nice early view, just in case there's any large vehicles, which the signs are telling us will need to be in the centre of the road. So right up until now I've just lost the view, but I had that good view through there where I could see if there's anything large coming through or not. Nice big wide open empty road, so we can just rush the engine now at the speed limit. Nice view up the road. We've got this junction just ahead of us here, no problems at all. And right at the very far end of this little straight I can see, not sure if it's either a pedestrian or a cyclist, but getting something up there moving. So because I'm riding with my mate, I'm going to take basically the off side of the lane and he's got the near side. He's tucked up nicely in position. There we are, it's a cyclist up ahead of us. So let's start working out, even from now, start planning from here where we're likely to pass the cyclist. I'll just check the mirrors. We've got following traffic. No need for us to slow up at all at the moment. We're just coming up to a left-hand bend on the crown of the road. I've got a nice early view, so there's nothing after the red car. So no problem at all. I can just go straight across to the off side of the road. We know that the road ahead is clear. Plenty of room for the cyclists, give them a good wide safety margin.
Bearing in mind I'm doing a steady 40 miles an hour, just out of interest I had a quick look at this piece of film again, and from the time I picked up on that cyclist to the time I overtook him was 52 seconds. If your observation is good, you can create a lot of time to plan how you're going to deal with situations well before you get to them.
Okay, there's the mini roundabout, so I can just straighten my course now. We're going to go left at the roundabout. So I can put a signal on, it's a choice of route, looking across to the right then. So this red car's coming down, there's a pedestrian, a couple of pedestrians I can see there. So let's have a look at this little car then. Not going very fast, is it? So if there's a chance of an overtake in a minute, we'll take this one. This is a 60 mile an hour road, we're doing just over 35 at the moment. It's nice and steady. Telegraph poles give us the line of the road here, so I'm just going to tuck into the near side. I'm looking over the hedge line to see if I can see anything else coming in. Possibly off this bend might be a place to have a look at it. So we'll see if we can create the opportunity. We'll have a lower gear. Yep. Straight to 60, straight to lane 2. Nice and neat overtake. And you see how early I started planning for it.
This is a quick overtake, so observation and positioning have to be right. You can see that I line up on the crown of the road on the way in, and I hold that view between him and the near side hedge. With everything right, I get the view that I need. And when I reach this point here, there it is. I can see all the way down the straight and into the next right-hander. I can't go solely on a near side view, but it's enough that I can move out, take the offside view, confirm that the road's clear, and all I have to do is power it to get the overtake done, quickly and safely. Not bad off a blind left-hander, eh? Stuart and I were on our way down to a roundabout when we kept seeing this lorry braking. And with such a big vehicle, we had very limited view of the road ahead, even though we're a good distance back. A car ahead of the lorry turns left, and you can see that everything gets a bit adjacent down there. Luckily for us, all that's required is some good lane discipline and a little firm braking. It's things like this that really highlight the need to be switched on, paying attention all the time, and using your observation skills to keep yourself safe. Nobody's going anywhere at any rate of knots here, so I took this opportunity just to try and up our reputation a little bit. I could see the transporter was struggling with a sharp bend at the end of the bridge. So rather than add to the congestion, we just sat back and held the traffic to let him clear. Surprising what observation and a bit of common sense can do. We kept the traffic moving, and the lorry driver now thinks that all us motorcycling types are the best thing since sliced bread. Here's an interesting little bike, one of only 300 hand-built CCM Spitfires. Not one that you see every day, is it? Keep your eye on the white van ahead of me. This is a lovely piece of road from Lymington out towards Brockenhurst. It's governed by 50 limit, and you can see on this particular day fairly busy with lots of incoming traffic. It's quite a bendy road, but I can use the white van as a guide to let me know what's going on ahead. You can see that by good positioning and just making small alterations to my speed, I can keep the van in view. As long as he's moving, it's a good indication, isn't it, that my road's clear. If I see him braking, I'm going to get a very early heads up that something may be happening further down the road that I might have to slow down or stop for. And as long as I keep this nice even distance between us, I can hold the bike at the speed limit and keep myself safe. If you were walking the dog, how would you cross the railway line? What you can see, what you can't see, and what you can reasonably expect to happen. Look at the position here. Coming towards me is an old Land Rover with a massive caravan, so I'm positioning for view. I want to see what's on behind it, and I want to present the vehicle so that I'm seen as well. It's a fair bet anyone that's been following this thing for any amount of time is going to want to be looking to overtake it, and this straight could be the perfect opportunity. By using good observation, you can see that I've sat up early, well in towards the near side. This gives me a good view down the road and well past the caravan, so I can see if there's any following traffic or anything which is likely to cause me a problem. Remember what I said about how positioning and observation go hand in hand. Without one, you won't get the other. You can see here how good positioning going into the right-hand bend gives me a very early view of a vehicle coming up from this junction on the near side. When I see him crossing the main road ahead of me, I hold this position towards the near side so that I'm already set up to pass behind him and to keep extending my view into the right-hand bend. As soon as he's out of my way, I can see that I'm clear to exit the bend now, so it's time to alter course out to the crown of the road as I come down to this long straight. I'm equalising the danger between the two hedge lines and maximising my view down both of them. On the straight, this crown of the road position presents the vehicle beautifully. As soon as I see an oncoming car though, I want to do the same as with the caravan. I want to have a good look behind it, and if there are vehicles behind it, I want to make sure that their drivers can see me. Remember that good observation and positioning gives you safety, view, and control.
noisy. So bloody noisy. How are you?
Bloody good, mate. You alright?
Yeah.
On the approach to this near side junction, with no oncoming traffic, I can move out towards the crown of the road, which makes me very visible. You can see that it gives me excellent view into the junction as well, and further down the road along the near side verge line. Let's move in then, extend the offside view, and see if we can create the opportunity to overtake. This combination of observation, positioning, and planning will make your life very easy and keep you safe out on the road. You need to be looking all the time though, and then putting the positioning in to match up with your observations. It's all about being on the right place on the road, isn't it? A position which is safe, but also that affords you the best view. Once you lose that view, it's time to move and get it back again as fast as possible. Without it, you severely limit your options for what comes next. How many times have you heard people say, "Oh, I got stuck behind something for miles"? Remember what I said to you at the beginning of this video. It's all there for you to see. It's down to you to put yourself in the right position to take advantage of the view. I've taken pillions out on my bike before now, and at the end of the ride they've said, "That was a strange ride, nothing happened," or "Haven't you got a smooth bike?" or "Wasn't the traffic kind to us?" Remember that this stuff doesn't happen by accident though. It's all down to planning and your skill as a rider. You need to blend the skills of observation, planning, positioning, as well as your bike control to get that smooth, advanced, professional ride. It doesn't matter what you ride, it's how you ride it that makes all the difference. Have a look at the 1 o'clock position and that vehicle moving down across the pavement towards the road. The traffic lights are red, and also we've got these parked vehicles on both sides, so there's a lot here that could potentially affect our ride. The vehicle coming down across the right-hand pavement is my main concern. When he comes out between that line of parked vehicles, is he going to stop? And if he comes out, is he going to come to my side of the road? I'm already considering moving to cater for him, but how far? Because I've got a line of parked vehicles on my own side of the road. There's potential danger there of either someone opening a car door or people walking out between the vehicles. And I need to equalise the potential danger between that and that moving vehicle coming off the pavement. By equalising the danger, I put myself in a position where the car driver can see me at the earliest opportunity. Once I'm happy with him, all I have to do then is time my arrival at the light so that I don't have to stop in the road. Easy, isn't it? Now I know you've seen me do this before, but because we're talking about observation, I thought I'd put one back in. On the way down to the garage, I can look over this low hedge and see which pumps are free and what state the floor's in. I definitely don't want to be stuck queuing in the road, and I'd like to just get in there and get it done. So already knowing where I'm going, I can do exactly that. Just pull straight down to the pump that I want. Right hand side of the pumps, because the Benelli's on a side stand, and we're done and dusted, aren't we? Sometimes getting view is not always easy. The faster you're travelling, the less time you've got. And of course with larger vehicles, your view's going to be very restricted. If you do need to stop, try and make it in a place where you can keep as much view as possible. I've got good near side view, and once the white van's cleared, I do a final near side check, then move out, present the vehicle and extend the view around the lorry. When I leave the traffic lights, I need to equalise the danger between the oncoming traffic and the near side curb. Keep looking at the 11 o'clock position though, and as soon as I see the blue car, you'll see that I alter course. I need to think fast to assess him before I'm happy to carry on. I'm coming down towards a gradual blind left-hand bend, and I can see a pedestrian walking towards me on the other side of the road. I want to try and keep view and carry speed if possible, but I know if anything comes from the opposite direction, it's going to have to come to my side of the road round him. I need to hold view here and get my timing right for altering course to give up position for safety with these oncoming vehicles. I can safely get all the view I want with this mid-lane position, and then just before I reach the oncoming traffic, give up position for safety in towards the near side, which lines me up perfectly for the next right-hand bend. There you go, a little bit of an insight into observation then, what you should be looking for and where you're likely to find it. Remember, like everything else in your riding, keep it simple. Whatever's in your peripheral vision will always be in view and you will react to it. Take advantage of that first early view and look as far into the distance as you can. Before you reach that point, you may well lose that view, so in the meantime you could pick up vital information that you know something else is there. Observation is a game changer, and good observation will seriously improve your riding. I hope that I've shown you in this short film that without good observation you won't get the best out of your positioning or out of your planning to keep yourself safe. I'm pretty sure there was something else I was going to mention. Oh yeah, don't forget to look behind you once in a while as well. Be really careful with these people. Somebody asked me about this in the comments, if I ever had problems with people tailgating me, and one of my real pet hates are these people that stop right behind you, virtually touching the back of the bike when you're sat at traffic lights. If the driver gets it wrong or has any sort of mechanical failure, or if he's hit from behind, we're going to come off very much second best here. You can see now why I always keep such a good gap when I come down and stop behind other vehicles in a queue of traffic, and why I don't like being stopped in the road. All of this road game stuff is very funny until it goes wrong, and it's one of the reasons that I put a rear-facing camera on the bike. For those of you that are familiar with GoPro cameras, you know that they've got quite a wide-angle lens, and this guy's probably about 3 feet off the back of the bike. Here's another typical example. This woman did this to me in this queue probably 6 or 7 times. She's within 3 feet at the back of the bike, and I really did feel at risk from her. And sadly, folks, it's that time again. I look forward to seeing you again. Don't let people like that put you off. And in the meantime, enjoy your bikes and stay safe out there.